back, guys. So I actually started working on this car on the January of 2019 and I finished it on this April, and here's how I did it. So you know that everything just starts off with an idea, and my idea was to just have two motors in the back and make it simple. So I basically went with the pan car concept, which is basically uses one shaft that is directly connected to the motor, or I should say motors. So first of all, I just made this sketch, and then I thought I should just make a single bottom plate, but then I thought if I just screw up or anything, then it would be really hard to go back. So I just divided that into 3 parts and made this. Then I made some more templates and cut them out and slapped it on some sheets of metal. I started cutting that with my Dremel 4000, and here's how it came out. And also I sanded the edges a little because they might be sharp. And here's how it looks like compared to the template. And then I did some measurement stuff with my slide caliper to drill holes and stuff. And here's how it looked like. And then I compared that to the template I made before. Took some measurements again and used the marker and slide caliper. And then I drilled the first hole and aligned it with the lines and laid on the template just to see if it's straight or not. And then I drilled the rest of the holes, and I did the same thing with the back part. And these are the screws and nuts I used. Then I had to just choose a shaft for the rear wheels. So I did. It's about 3 millimeters in diameter, 97 millimeters in length. And I found that on this CD player thing. And this piece that you see right here is a piece of an antenna, like TV antennas, like really old. Then I just took some measurements of that and also measured that where it should go on the shaft, and I grinded the shaft randomly, and you will find out why it's important. So you know the diameter difference is a bit huge, so I decided to use paper to fix that. So I cut a piece of paper and decided to just glue that on the shaft and roll it up. Then I had to just trim it a little to fit that in there. Then I used some more super glue, but I couldn't put it all the way, so it looked like this. So I just had to heat that up to melt the glue and burn the paper so I can just get that thing out and do it all over again. So I cleaned those parts and fixed the ends so it doesn't get stuck again. And then I took the measurements again. Then I cut the paper, rolled the shaft on the paper again. Here's how it looked like, and I used my Dremel to make it perfect, I guess. And now I'm just doing the same thing that I did with the shaft, so it doesn't spin on it, and now it fits perfectly. And then I used super glue again, and this time it went perfectly. Then I used these 2 gears as the spur gears because it fits the antenna part perfectly. Then I just checked that if there is any wobble or not, and luckily there wasn't. Then I took the motors that I decided to use and put it beside it just to imagine how it should look like. And then I didn't film anything. I just went to make the steering part, but I do have some templates that I can show you. So here's the first rough sketch that I made, and then I made this sketch to make the templates of. And to show you how I made that part, I just have to take it from the car. Okay, so these are the components that are needed to complete that assembly, but the part that I'm talking about is this. See that bend right there? I mean this U thing? I actually got that bend from there because there is a bend, like it looks like this right there. Yeah, it was like this in there. So yeah, that's how I got it. Then I ordered some pinion gears that has 12 teeth, and the spur gears that I showed you earlier has 36 teeth, so the gear ratio is 3:1. Then I made some brackets that would hold the axle. So I just finished making the back side of that. And if you look on the left side, you will see a piece of metal, and on the right side there isn't any, so I just used that to make it perfectly horizontal. So then I ordered some new wheels. And then I put the wheels where I want it to be, just to imagine how it should turn out. And here's how I wanted it to turn out at first. And then I made the motor mount, connected to a power supply, and tested that out to see how it works. With one motor, it had some decent torque. Then I sanded 3 of the parts because they didn't look that cool. And it took me more than an hour to do so. And here's how the front steering part came out. The bottom plate of the front part, the middle part. Looks really cool, right? And then I assembled everything again. Then I put everything back together again. And here's how it looked like. I know it looks kind of cartoony. And if you look at this part, you'd see here's a nut, but that's not how it came out. So here's the nut that I need to use, and I need to grind these edges a little bit so I can just fit it right in there. Now I think I can just make it fit inside of it, and maybe I just need to hammer it a little bit. I think it's okay now, maybe. Yeah, it's not gonna come out. So now I guess I can just use this small screw and put that inside of it. Kind of like that. And then that one. So there goes this part. I hope it works well. Now because the wheel's shaft diameter is a bit too much, so it doesn't fit in it, but I can just use this part and then that one to kind of make it fit perfectly. Okay, so now I guess the wheel can move freely. Now I just need to cut this thing to the appropriate size, and also this screw is what I'm gonna be using to hold that thing, but it doesn't go really all the way, so I need to just grind that to make it fit in there. So this is what the screw looked like before, and this is what the screw looks like after. Also, I got that piece to this length, so now I can just fit this in and then screw. I think that's a bit too long. I gotta make it shorter. Now I think it's okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this thing in and the other part, and now this thing, and I just need to tighten this. And now just a little bit of WD-40 and maybe you're good to go. Now I guess I just have to put these wheels back right where it should be. This screw should go right there. Now it works okay. Put that in there. There you go. So the front part is complete. Yeah. You know, I just ordered this thing without knowing any dimension because they didn't list any. But I just thought it should just fit perfectly, but nope. So I just grinded these places a little bit. So even though I can't just put the screws like that, I can maybe place it like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. Now it doesn't really move, it's kind of solid. Also, I need to do something with the screw heads because they don't really fit in quite right because they need to just go through that. So now I think they can just fit in. So this one works, that one, and the last one. There we go. Okay, so I just bolted 4 of the screws, and it seems to be maybe perfectly centered. Maybe. Last thing to do is to just slide this wheel in. I'm just gonna have a bad time putting the wheels back because I can't reach the screws. Maybe that's gonna be... Yeah, there we go. And I feel like it's kind of loose, so I just have to fix that. That's all. Yeah, there we go. I know it seems like the wheels are kind of touching the body, but no, it's not. There's a small gap. And I don't think that's gonna touch it. So, I actually made a couple of mistakes while making the template. And I made two of them at the same time. And I had to fix it when I was making it. So, instead of drilling holes there, there, and there, the holes should be there, there, and there. So, okay, so now that I have cut the piece and drilled the holes, and you can see there are a lot of extra metal in there, it won't really fit in, so I just have to cut that. I actually ended up making a lot of changes. It should just work now. So I just got two of the motors installed, and maybe it's time to just solder the wires, because I don't want to do that with the axle on, because I don't want to deform these gears. So I guess I'm just gonna do it now. Now the last thing to do is to just put the axle back, and let's see how much torque it can output. And all these wires are the same color is because I don't really have any perfect wire, and these have maybe a perfect thickness. So that's why they all look the same. And then after mounting the second motor, I did this test. You can see the car is kind of like a bit like tilted upwards, so maybe I just need to fix that. Now I think it's perfectly, horizontal, but that kind of looks a bit weird. And to fix that problem, I just had to redesign the whole steering part. So here are the new templates. Once again, I just used those templates to cut out the pieces while making the noise. And when I was done making the first one, I just had to go and make the second one. Okay, so I'm just done with making the two parts, I guess. Then I took some measurements to bend it like this, so it won't have that leaning backwards problem. Okay, so I just mounted the front steering part, and this is how it looks like from the left side. This is how it looks like from the left and front, I guess. And this is how it looks like from the top. I know it still kind of looks a bit weird. At this point, I was just making too many mistakes, so I just thought I can make a design in 3D space and plan everything there and finalize it and then do it in real life. So I just designed 3 of the bottom plates in SolidWorks and also one of the front wheels, but I just realized that I was spending way too much time there. You know, like 3x3 grids help you take photos or videos. There's also a thing called golden ratio for photography, which mostly works for landscapes. And there's also a golden ratio for our face. So basically there is also a golden ratio for cars. So I googled some stuff out and I found some stuff, and then I made some sketches. And the sketch that you see right there, it has a wheel space of 3 wheels, I think. Basically, you can put 3 wheels in between the 2 wheels. And then I made another sketch with almost the same design, but it has 2 wheel space. It doesn't look serious or cool as that one. Then I made another sketch just to make sure it works. And I think it works. So I just had to change some things in the car. So I redesigned the bottom plate of the front part so it can have a wheel space of 2.5. If I do 3, it would maybe look like a sedan, and I don't really want that. Okay, so this is the part that was in the car, and this is the new part, and this is how it looks like if I compare the size, the length, and this is how it is. So this is how it looks like from the side, left and front, and this is how it looks like from the top. I think now it looks kind of better, right? Yep. So I just got this new brushed ESC, and it's rated for 60 amps, and it's waterproof. And let's take a look at the inside. Well, that looks cool. So I just got this new remote control system. It's from Dumborg. It has 6 channels, and that's kind of cool. So that's the start guide and the actual remote. Oh, this looks so cool. And receiver, it's a bit too small, I think. And after getting the new receiver and controller, I just had to go outside and test that out. And by this point, it didn't have a working steering. Okay, so I went a little crazy with the steering system. Basically, it doesn't work. If I put this thing in, slide it in there, it kind of gets stuck right there. If it does that. Yeah, see that? It's kind of like that. So I just have to think of something else. Okay, so I just used that part right there. It's directly connected to the servo, and now it's working kind of better. So first I made this battery pack, which is made out of 4 AA batteries, and then you saw that I made that one. It's made out of 4 C batteries. It's actually kind of big and heavy. And I looked at the data sheet, you know, one of these things, and I found out that it has a bit more resistance than the AA's, even though it's much more thicker. So basically that won't work because it's too heavy. I just went to the store and got one of these AA batteries of 16 pack. Maybe I can just make a battery pack out of these and put it on there. So I just made these battery packs, and they work fine. Now I just gotta connect them in parallel so I can have a bit more current with the same volt. So there are 7 of these AA batteries in series, and another pack of AA batteries of 7 in series, and both of them are just connected in parallel. So if I now check that, so 10 volt, I guess, around 10 and 11 volts. I think that's okay for the ESC, even though it says 6 volt and 3 amps. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Okay, so now everything is done. I hooked everything up, and let's just start this thing. And the remote too. Yeah, let's just go outside and check this thing out. So, unfortunately, the wheel just fell off. Now this thing is just fully covered with dust. Yeah, but I'm still gonna do the top speed thing. But just after a few runs, the battery went down by a lot. So I couldn't really do any perfect speed test. So I just used this clip in Premiere Pro and saw how long it takes to go from this point to this point and take the milliseconds and stretch that out to an hour. And then I'm using Google Maps to see the distance from that point to that point. So it's obviously not the perfect way to do that, but currently I don't have any other way to do that. I can actually do that with my phone or by getting new batteries and test that out, but I don't really want to do those. So I just approximated that to 17 miles per hour, which is lower than I expected, but that's what I have to live with now. And another thing that I want to show you is the receiver has a gyroscope built in it, and basically it helps you to steer, and that's how I made this car. And yeah, I'll just see you guys in the next video. Peace.